I'm Joe Tarosian, and this is RamView. Live from the Ram Cave, I'm Joe Tarosian, and this is RamView, the October 27th, 2025 edition, brought to you by Kistler Law Firm. Injured in an auto accident? Need help? Got questions? Call Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. That's Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. And check out KistlerLawFirm.com. That's one word, KistlerLawFirm.com. Kistler Law, they've been fighting for you since 92. And by Temple City Auto Repair. Having some auto issues? Get yourself some John and Henry at TempleCityAutoRepair.com. And of course, the new friend of the show, Sports Ball Games. Make game day fun for you and your crew. Play sports ball games. All right, so we're in the house, ready to go on, and then news broke that the Rams made a deal for a corner. It wasn't a surprise. I thought it was kind of interesting that news broke this morning and last night. Hey, Rams are making calls about a corner. You didn't have to be Nostradamus to figure that the Rams were making moves, right? The most glaring place they had to make a move was at corner. And we all knew, well, we should have known, is that there was really nobody big, no big name out there to go after. No guy on a expiring contract playing for a bad team that was out there to go get. And I wasn't into this whole Alontae Taylor, Cam Taylor-Britt thought process. But I tell you, wasn't on my radar, but he sure was on somebody else's, was Roger McCreary out of Tennessee, former second-round pick from Auburn back in 2022. So real interesting thing here is we just hear news this morning that Darius Williams has a strained shoulder. We don't know what that really means. And then you're down to Kobe Durant and Emmanuel Forbes, and then where are you going after that, right? Was it Trey Brown and some of these other guys, A.J. Green? You're going to bring up Cam Langford. So the Rams had to make a move. But whether or not this Darius Williams thing is bad long-term or not, doesn't look like it's long-term. He just looks like he could be held up for a while. The good news here is you added a fourth guy who is probably the equivalent or a little bit higher, maybe a little bit more than Kobe Durant. You got a guy that can start in the NFL. He's played 55 games, started 38. He used to be a boundary corner. Now he's mostly a slot corner. If he plays a lot of slot for the Rams, what do you do with Quentin Lake? That frees Quentin Lake up, who has just been a beast this last month. Quentin Lake has been off the charts. So this is a really good move. It's a depth move. It's not a fancy move. It's not that big shutdown move that everyone wanted, but there was no one out there, right? You can't buy a house unless the house is for sale, as they say. And I just heard that one the other day. I thought it was kind of funny. But McCreary, 5'11", 190, goes in his walkaway year. This is his fourth year of his rookie deal. He's a free agent next year. He goes from a 1-7 team with no hope to a 5-2 team that has opportunity for him to play, a better organization, and a chance to get a ring. So this guy's going to be playing his butt off. On top of that, his reputation is that he is a physical player. He did play well against the Rams earlier this year. And so I'd be curious to know how you folks are rating that, because it was a really nice move. Hey, Payo time. Yeah, there we go. Payo's here. Yeah, I like the move. And you know what? The first thing I did, Payo, is I went to Tennessee Titan Media. And I wanted to see what Tennessee Titan Media said. And Tennessee Titan Media was really upset because they're recognizing the fire sale is on. And then they were also arguing that they should have got a fourth rounder for him, right? And so I love that. That's the part that I really liked, is the fact that their own media is upset about this because they felt they could have gotten more. They understood a fire sale was on, and they made a move. And so they're upset in Tennessee, which is great for us because I think they know we're getting a quality player. USA expat Do you prefer bringing back Raheem Morris as defensive coordinator or elevate within? I'll get to that here in a minute. Actually, I've got Raheem Morris conversation on the books here, USA. Chris Childress, Rams did a great job with the trade. Absolutely. Absolutely. The fun part about being in sports when I was working for the Mid and some other places was you did have access. You could talk to coaches. You could do other things, whether it's high school level or college, not a whole lot, some pro, but you had access, right? The fun part is, to me, is analyzing on the outside and trying to figure things out before they happen. And a few times we've nailed it, but this time Roger McCreary was not anywhere in my mindset, and it looks like a really, really good trade. And yeah, Peo, it is a life-changing trade. It is for him. He has a chance to play for a ring. He has a chance to impress a top-flight organization. He has a chance to get that second contract that all these guys want, and maybe more than just a cheap contract. Maybe he comes in and makes plays and gets a great contract. And basically what it costs the Rams is they got McCreary and a 6th-round pick, and they sent the 5th-round pick they got for Ernest Jones last year. Remember when they traded Ernest Jones? Everyone was upset for that because they only got a 5th-round pick. Well, that same 5th-round pick's going back to Tennessee, and that's a great move. That's just a really good move. Witherspoon comes back. Darius is not hurt too bad. And then none of these corners are completely and always exposed. I don't want these guys out there for full games. I want them playing about 25, 30 snaps, right? So they're fresh. Witherspoon needs to do that. Darius Williams at 31, 32 needs to do that. And I think it's good for everybody else. So very, very happy to see this move. Peo time, Titans have got enough good trade deals from the Rams over the years. Yeah, we did give them Robert Woods real cheap, didn't we? Do you see, who is this? ESG, good to have you, man. ESG do you see the Rams making any more moves before the deadline? This was, to me, one of the main ones, and I think with the Darius Williams, it really kind of got forced out of necessity, but it's good, right? It is a really good move, and so I think, again, there are no other corners out there. I just don't see it. I think Sauce Gardner, I never would have moved on the Sauce Gardner deal. Just never. Quinnen Williams, maybe. Jeffrey Simmons, if the Titans want to come back, I'll have that conversation. But we like our linebacker room. We like our edge room. We like our front. We like our safeties. And now our cornerback room got a little bit deeper. I did hear speculations of the Rams trading for another receiver. And my thought was, again, notes all blown out of the water right now because of this deal. The Rams acquired Roger McCreary. They put Tutu Atwell on the IR. And in my notes, I had written, now's the time to trade Tutu Atwell. Kanata Muntfield's getting reps. Jordan Whittington is becoming more and more of a veteran. And we're seeing Xavier Smith do more. Xavier Smith's becoming very reliable. Have you noticed that? Very, very reliable. And so move Atwell, right? Move him now. And I like Atwell. I'm very pro Atwell. I think Atwell's been done dirty to the tune of $10 million this year. But now that he's on the IR and that hamstring is playing probably a good deal, good reason for that is makes him less likely to be moved. USA. A good point there. We brought it up earlier there. McCreary should free up Lake to be more flexible. I don't know about you, but Quentin Lake's been on a roll, right? Quentin Lake's been playing great football, and the more we free him to do other things, this is a good sign for the Rams. All right, Mr. Burns is depressed because of Cam Scattaboo. He's talking about Steeler fan Rob, let's see, ESG, there's an interesting one. Let me put that there, ESG. And I'll come back to you, to Mr. Tim Burns. ESG, I also heard the Rams are interested in the Minnesota tight end. Are you talking Hawkinson? Really? Is that Hawkinson they're interested in? I haven't heard that one. I really am not into that. I'd like to see the Rams run with what they have. Maybe decommission Higbee a little bit because I don't like Higbee's drops. Keep him on the roster, but drop him into that 3rd or 4th spot there. We want to see more Ferguson, right? We want to see more Ferguson. heading through here. Okay, I want to get to some other stuff here, so let me talk a little bit about one of our new folks following us real quick here. Sports Ball Games. If you're looking for a way to bring your crew together on game day without the gambling stress or fantasy overload, try Sports Ball Games. Free pick'em and squares, live leaderboards, and bragging rights built in. One click and you're in. No fees, no spreadsheets, no headaches. Just sports fun for your whole group to enjoy. Whether you're cheering from the break room or the backyard, Sports Ball Games makes every game day a team event. Play for fun, brag for real. And I'm going to drop the Sports Ball Games link right here into the comment box, and you guys should check that out. And if you do, make sure if anyone asks, you tell them you got it from me. There you go. So here we go. Let's keep moving on here. I wanted to get to this trade deadline because it is November 4th. And I wanted to talk about what picks the Rams had to deal with. That was part of my notes here. And I was talking about trading Atwell as an asset. And if there were any other assets the Rams could move at this point. You know, I don't want to move him because I like our front seven, but I'm wondering if Larrell Murchison's played well enough to where you can include him in some package that could bring you maybe another guy on the front line. So right now, the Rams have 2 number 1 picks, the Falcons and theirs. The Rams have their second, the Rams have their third, right? That's 4 picks right now in the top 100. The Rams gave up their 4th to the Bears in the Ty Hamilton move up a year ago. The Rams have their 5th, and they just gave the other 5th they had back to the Titans for Roger McCreary. They pick up a 6th from the Titans, and they had their own 6th, and then the Rams have a 7th from the Ravens in the Trey White swap. Remember Trey White, how the Rams got rid of him so fast? They netted a 7th-round pick for Trey White, which with what the Rams do, that's pretty good business there. And I don't think the Rams are in line for any compensatory picks this coming year. Let's keep rolling here. Bill, Rams got great value in the trade, practically getting him for nothing. Former 2nd-round pick in his contract year. Absolutely. Great move there. Let's see. I am going to get to you there, Mr. Burns. I am going to get to you there about Cam Scatterbo getting hurt and everything else going on with the Steelers and around the NFL. I am really interested, though, ESG, in who the other tight end is. So if you get that, let me know. There's one. Trade Corum to the Chargers. That's a great thought there, USA Expat. Trade Corum to the Chargers. That's a real interesting one. Let's see here. I'm hearing, sorry, I don't know which one you are. Let's see. There we go. I'm hearing good reports on Roger McCreary from the Titan fan base. Absolutely. That's the first place I went. I wanted to see how much he played, and then I wanted to see what their fan base was saying, and their fan base is upset, and they felt they should have got more for him. So that encouraged me about this deal. Samuel Ainsley. Howdy, Joe. I guess Tutu is done. Roger is a great addition. He's from Auburn, where Snead is from, so he knows his potential. Betty plays on the outside. I don't know where he's going to play. First part of his career was boundary or wide corner, but he's almost been exclusively slot. So we're going to see where he's at. I just like him as another depth piece. I think this is really, really a great depth piece. And it doesn't hurt the Rams in terms of they still have a lot to play with heading to the deadline. Where would they reinforce? That's going to be real interesting to see where the Rams reinforce going forward. Could it be another receiver with Atwell going on the injured reserve and maybe not trusting the younger guys just yet? So something to think about there. As I saw right here, Rams have 8 picks. They have 8 picks in next year's draft. I don't think they're in line to get any more compensatory picks this year. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. 3 cheers to bye victories. Yeah, it was a great bye victory yesterday. Great day for the Rams yesterday. Falcons lose, 49ers lose. It's all right. Okay, that's where I wanted to go. Let's look at this one here. I've been doing coaches on the hot seat. Aaron Glenn, That was a nice win for Aaron Glenn yesterday. I'm not in the fire Aaron Glenn camp. I think everything with New York's going to take a long time, and they got to play the long game. Zach Taylor and any other organization would probably be fired, but he's with the Bengals, so they're not going to fire him. I'm not really worried about Brian Daboll at all right now. Keep an eye on Jonathan Gannon. But the coach that could be in trouble, the coach that could be on the hot seat is Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris, if this season ends poorly in Atlanta, I think he could be in trouble. Literally, if the Falcons crash and burn in 2025, which was a horrible loss on Sunday at home to the Dolphins, who are terrible, the Rams not only got 2 third-round picks because Raheem Morris is a minority who went as a head coach. They got those 2 compensatory picks. One of those was used to acquire the first-round pick of the Falcons next year, and Terrence Ferguson. They also used the other third-round pick on Cam Kitchen, so I think we're happy with that. But under Morris, if there's a collapse under his command, the Rams also could net an extremely high number 1 pick. And then that was the question. If and when Chris Shula becomes a head coach somewhere, does the door open for a Raheem return? And I think I liked Raheem 2 of the 3 years he was here. I wasn't crazy about 2022, but it's just a philosophy thing. I didn't like how they backed off the ball so much. We saw some of that with Chris Shula against the 49ers. I wanted something a little more aggressive, and he was in 2023, and he was in the back half of 2021. But 2022 felt like a lost year defensively. And I know there was injuries, but would you want Raheem Morris to come back as a DC if he gets canned in Atlanta? Let's see here. Watching this guy tackle, he's amazing. He is very physical. I did not watch any highlights. USA expert Aubrey Pleasant as defensive coordinator would probably keep Shula's system with some personnel tweaks versus Raheem Morris and his system. By and large, and I'll take correction, guys, we're still running the Fangio stuff that Staley brought over, right? We've modified it a little bit. Raheem modified it. Shula's modified it a little bit, but still that too high shell game there. Yeah. Boy, you guys read my notes? Yeah, I am talking about the tush-push fumble here in a second. So, yeah, keep an eye on that. That one could be really interesting. And then my other one here was, what about the tush-push, right? Forward progress being stopped is never called, right? Hurts gets stopped on that initial surge all the time, and then his teammates come behind and push him forward, but he's never called for forward progress being stopped. On Sunday, Hurts pushes forward, but it's declared that his forward progress was stopped when he fumbled the ball. This is kind of a disaster. It's kind of a joke, right? And I thought the Giants players had a great point about it because it's ridiculous. It's like, is his progress stopped when his teammates have to come and push him forward? Is his progress still going forward when he fumbles? Well, which one is it? The NFL needs to sit down and work this out because I don't know if it decided the game for the Giants, but boy, that was a ripoff a little bit there, at least in that series. You do that compared to and combine that with losing Scatabo, heavy duty stuff there. NFL should be dealing with. All right, let's keep Burns. I would pass on Morris's return. Aubrey Pleasant is coach this guy. All right, there we go. Bill, tush push has got to go. The freaking Eagles are cheating. I don't want to see it go. I don't want to see it banned because I think there are ways to stop it. I thought Brian Flores' unique thing he had with the Vikings laying that guy sideways was kind of interesting. But I do think if they're going to run it and you have the ability, you park the remote above the offensive line, you got to make those calls. You have to make those calls. Did you see it last night when one play where the Packers were offsides and then the refs had a meeting? They didn't throw the flag on that, but they had a meeting and there was a fear there. There was a thought that could they, after the play, throw the flag for Packers being offsides, which the Packers were offsides. Didn't decide the game, but it should have been called in the moment. But if you miss the call, isn't it kind of like double jeopardy or ridiculous to go back and then throw the flag? And if you're going to go back and throw the flag on the Packers, why can't you use the camera to go back and throw the flag on right guard Steen for Philly when Philly jumps on the tush push? So something to think about. NFL's got a problem there, and I don't think banning the play is the problem. The problem is they got to get off their butts and do it right. They got enough resources. They need to do it right. So, all right, Dolphins at the Falcons. I took the Falcons, so I lost. Who would have thought the Dolphins would go into Atlanta and burn it down worse than Sherman did in 1864, right? It was at 1865. He burned that sucker down. It was 1864. And they won 34-10. The winners in that game, Tua, Mike McDaniel gets to keep his job. Winners, Rams draft pick climbs the charts a little bit higher. Falcons are 3-4. And an NFC opponent takes another loss, which just in case the Rams don't win the division, we don't want to be caught in this big old log jam for the wild card spots, right? The big loser, right, besides Atlanta, Raheem. This is a game. You just can't lose this game, right? They have a good offensive line. Dolphins have a cruddy run defense. Bijan Robinson coughed up the ball just as they're trying to compare him to Danian Tomlinson. I like Bijan Robinson. I try to get him on my fantasy team, but at a certain point there, kid's got to be pounded. You got to pound the rock and take the pressure off the aging Cousins, who lost all of his trade value yesterday. A horrible loss. Raheem's the loser in that one. Rams 22 seems to me there's only one advantage for the offense with the tush push. Once the ball is stripped, they always call it dead. Yeah. Are you guys hearing me on that whole, like, his forward progress is always stopped initially, and then there's that what they call second effort, but it's not his second effort. It's him being pushed forward by his teammates, and they never throw that blow that whistle. So Giants had a beef. Bears at Ravens. I, of course, took the Bears, and the Ravens won 30-16. The winners, Baltimore. Baltimore has life because they saw what happened with Cincy later, and they saw what happened with Pittsburgh. At 2-5, the Ravens still have life. Why they're fooling around with Cooper Rush, I don't know. Why they were fooling around with Tyler Huntley after the way he played a few years ago, I don't know. But now they have life, and they gave Lamar Jackson another week to heal. Also, another winner in that game, Rams, because another NFC wildcard threat lost a game, and the Bears are now 4-3. Bills at Panthers. Bills won. I took the Bills. Buffalo won 40-9. The winner, of course, is the Bills, and everyone's talking about them again. The loser, Andy Dalton. I think it's about over for the Red Rifle, right? I think it's about over for him. The dude's been around a long time. He's so old, I saw him play in the Holiday Bowl back in, 2008, 2009. Yeah, been around a long time. Let's keep trugging along here. Jets at Bengals. I took the Bengals at home, right? Jets suck. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. It's just not going to work. And the Jets win 39-38. The winners, Aaron Glenn, justified. I don't think a coach has to answer questions if he doesn't want to. I think as they pressed him who his starting quarterback is going to be, he says, I'm not going to tell you, right? And they keep pressing him. Sometimes, as someone who used to work in the media, if that's the answer the coach gives you, that's what you do. You look like a jackwagon. People are trying to say Aaron Glenn looked like the jackwagon. The reporter looks like a jackwagon when he keeps pressing, and the coach has said he's on to Cincinnati, right? Justin Fields had some redemption. Again, nice guy, credible athlete. He's just not an NFL quarterback, but against the Bengals, everyone looks like Joe Montana. And I was happy for Justin Fields, really happy. The other winners in this game, the Steelers and the Ravens were winners in this game because the Bengals, no chance of them really trying to get some traction before Joe Burrow comes back. Also, every team looking to maybe make a deal for Trey Hendrickson might be back in the game now, because now that the Bengals have fallen to 3-5, Hendrickson could be moved, because that was a disaster yesterday at home. And the losers, Cincinnati Bengal football fans. How do you stick with this team? Everyone wants to boycott. Everyone wants to march, no Kings protest, no this protest. How about a no Brown family protest to where they protest the Brown family owning the Cincinnati Bengals? Because it's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's always been a disaster. And every few decades, they have some life. But this is a disaster. And the people of Cincinnati should just say, you know what? We're not buying season tickets. We're not going to the game. This is depressing. If I was a Bengal fan, I think it's really, really, really depressing. Let's see. Fumble could have changed the whole complexion of the game. You're probably right. I still like the Eagles in that game, but you're right. USA expat, I took the Blue Jays in 4. I didn't take the Blue Jays in 4. Joey Toronto took the Blue Jays in 4. So there you go. Steve Ramirez, I did a feature on Andy Dalton for my 2011 Rose Bowl coverage. Was he a good dude? He looked like he was a good dude. I saw him on the field. I didn't ask him any questions, but he seemed like a good dude. Paul, happy the 49ers are lost. Let's see. Who wrote this? This is funny. Why are they protesting our LA Kings? I've lost track of the Kings. I love hockey in the playoffs. I love the Kings, but I'll admit it. I'm a fair weather guy that comes around in playoff time because I just don't have time to hang around. 49ers lose in Houston. I took Houston. Houston won 26-15. The winners, Rams and Seahawks, of course. The losers, Fog City Health Insurance because more players got hurt. Browns at the Patriots. I took the Patriots. Patriots won 32-13. Winners, New England front office for moving off Gerard Mayo, right? Did that firing get labeled as a racial firing? Somebody said that at the time. And now look where the Patriots are at, and they're still not done, right? This is like Vrabel's first year, Drake May's second year. This looks pretty special there, what's happening in England. New England. Loser, Myles Garrett. He had 5 sacks yesterday? And this is a guy that could have forced a trade, but instead took the dough. So I don't have any Ernie Banks, like, oh, poor guy, I'd like to see him win a title. No, he knew what he could have done. That guy could have forced a trade. He'd already made bank before. He could have forced a trade, taken less, and maybe gone to a place like Detroit and played for a ring, right? I have no pity for Myles Garrett. Great player. He'll have all kinds of sack records. Yay. But he's never going to have – he's losing the whole prime of his career. He took the paycheck, which good for him. But I don't want to hear any sadness for him and whining about him not getting a ring, right? Because we always have that. Which guy would you like to see get a ring, right? Let's see here. Dalton was a very good guy. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see here. Giants, Eagles. We talked about that tush-push thing. Winners, Eagles proving they can do it without A.J. Brown. Loser, A.J. Brown discovering the Eagles can win without him. Loser, Cam Scataba. That was awful. Back to Tim Burns. That was terrible. I was really sad to see that happen. That guy's exciting. And yeah, I'm a little bit selfish. He's on my fantasy team. So that's a bummer. Dislocated, broken, the whole shebangy. I heard he's done for the year. So I would bring hopefully he makes it back. And then I'd have a careful conversation with him, say, hey, bro, let's skip the backflips in the end zone. We don't want to aggravate whatever you're getting repaired this offseason. Also, another loser in this game was NFL integrity when it comes to the tush push. I don't want them to ban it, but you better get it right, and they better nail this sucker down. Think how long they took to tell us what an actual catch was, process of the catch, all that kind of stuff. You know what? Get this sucker right and regain our respect. Buccaneers at the Saints. Buccaneers are 6-2, Saints 1-7. So happy to see the Saints at 1-7 as they come to LA this week. Winners, depleted Tampa continues to win. While everyone's hurt, they keep picking off these victories. So good for them. They were my dark horse at the beginning of the year. Unless they have some rapid health improvement, I am a little concerned about them going forward. And winners, the Saints. Saints are closer to a top 3 pick. Loser, Baker Mayfield's MVP chase, right? I think that's going to take a big hit. Cowboys at Broncos. I took Denver. Denver won 44-24. Winners, Bo Nix and Sean Payton. Sean Payton for drafting Bo Nix. Bo Nix for just being so much fun to watch. Did you see the first pick he threw? He threw that pick yesterday, and I think all I heard was social media and Colin Cowherd and everyone going after him for that pass. And then the dude was lights out. Also a winner, NFL fans seeing the old school Denver unis, right? I never really thought one way or about those unis until they went away and Denver went to CFL uniforms. But man, come on, Condi, whoever all the ownership group there in Denver, go back to these unis. It's distinct. That orange, there's no one else that wears anything like it. That orange and blue, dang, what are you messing around for, right? What are you messing around for with those CFL jerseys? Losers of this game, while Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and NFL fans were the winners, the losers were the fanatics who thought the Cowboys were anything more than a gritty team. They are a gritty team. Schottenheimer's got them playing well. I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'll root for the Cowboys when they play the Russians, but until that day, I'm never going to root for the Cowboys. But they've played well this year. It's just a little fanatical to think you were really a playoff team or any kind of contender beyond a week to week and who your opponent is. And Denver's a really good team, and Denver exposed them. Let's see here. Let's see. If Puka is on 100%, I think we can beat the Saints without him. Yes, I agree. I'm good with all that. I thought I read something today that said Nakua and Havenstein would be available this week. If you could steal another game without those guys, keep everybody fresh going forward. McClendon gets some more experience. Some of the other receivers get some more experience. I'm good with it. Maybe you play Nakua, but you limit his snaps, right? Instead of 60 snaps, let him play 30 and just let him ease his way back in. Again, this is one of those games that should be over in the third quarter, but we know how the Rams are, right? We know how the Rams are. I'm not hoping the Rams beat the Saints. The Rams are going to beat the Saints. My desire is that they just beat them to where it's not this white knuckle event. And we know what the Rams do. Now, I'll never forget the Jets were winless. They came in here in 2020 and they beat the Rams. Rams should beat the Saints. Saints are playing hard, so you can't discount them. But I have no problem if the Rams can do it to ease the snaps on Nakua and Havenstein. Let's see here. That's right. I want to put that one there. He got fired during the peak of the woke era. Tell me, I keep pressing on, bud. Can you tell me which one you're talking about there? And I'll get back to it. I'll answer that. I don't want to ignore it. Let's keep pressing here. Titans 1-7 at Colts 7-1, 7-1. Now the Colts had the Colts the whole way, 38-14. Winners, Daniel Jones getting the last laugh on New York. Daniel Jones getting the last laugh on the KBM that went after him mercilessly, right? And now everyone loves Daniel Jones. They mocked the Giants for signing him. Everyone mocked him, and look at Daniel Jones now, and this is 8 weeks in. And the other winner with the Colts victory over the Titans, it's the Rams for winning a game against the Colts that's starting to look more and more like the Rams stole that game against the Colts. For the way they played and how good the Colts are, the Rams were real fortunate to get that win. The losers in the Colts 38-14 victory over the Titans, the Jaguars and the Texans. The AFC South title is going to rest in Indy. Texans are limited. They don't have enough receivers. They should make a move, but no one's going to trade Brian Thomas within the division. And the Jaguars, the issue here is Brian Thomas didn't look that good against the Rams, and there are no receivers for Trevor Lawrence. And the ones he did have, he missed some throws. So, Jaguars and Texans are the losers in this one. Sunday night game, Packers at the Steelers. I took the Packers 35-25. The winners, head coach LaFleur, Green Bay front office, even though it's 3 years down the road, moving off of Rodgers and retaining faith in Jordan Love, because everyone was writing off Love. Everybody in the media was writing off Love. Oh, it's 3 years. He hasn't done anything. And yet, look at him now, right? Now, I thought it was also funny. People are all of a sudden back on the Green Bay bandwagon saying they're going to win a Super Bowl. I wasn't impressed with Micah Parsons until he got that late sack, which was a nice play, and then he had a pressure after that. I'm just not a Micah Parsons fan. So LaFleur, the Green Bay front office, they were the big winners last night. The losers, Pittsburgh sobering up that they spent way too much money on an old defense. They just did, right? They just did. 4 times they've been torched for 30 points this year. Now, one of those games, the Seahawks has an asterisk next to it because, you can't pin that all on the defense. Steeler fan Rob is right. But you gave up 30. The Steelers gave up 32 points to the Jets. They gave up 33 points to the Bengals. And they gave up 35 points to the Packers. So they're giving up points to pretenders in the Jets and Bengals. Well, the Jets aren't even pretenders. The Jets are just awful. They gave up 32 points to them. They gave up 33 points to the Bengals, which are pretenders. And then against a team that's a contender at home when you should have been focused, the Packers gave up 35. They gave up 35 to the Packers. That's brutal. That's brutal. And now they got the Colts and the Bolts on the schedule. And that's why the Ravens still have a shot in this division. Not saying they're going to win it. Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good. No problem there with Aaron Rodgers. But the Steelers haven't gotten him another wide receiver. Maybe they should make a move for Brian Thomas. And then, honestly, you saw why the Seahawks moved off of DK Metcalf. Just if there's an opportunity for someone to go brain dead, it's going to be DK Metcalf, right? Go brain dead at the drop of a hat. At the drop of a hat, DK will go brain dead. All right, let's keep on trucking here. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. With 2-2 down, move Stoops up and sit Puka another week. Is Stoops the guy they bring up, or is it going to be Brennan Presley? That's something to think about there. Bill, with Atwell on IR, do the Rams make a trade for a wide receiver? That's a great question to see what they do. That's a great question. USA Expat, cream the Saints so Jimmy G can play the fourth. Yeah, or maybe the whole second half. I hope that happens. I got to say this, though, about the Saints, though, right? The Saints are playing hard. You know, they're not just rolling over and dying, right? They're not the Dolphins for most of the season. They're not just rolling over and dying. They are playing hard. Okay, Surratt, thank you. Patriots coach is why they played the race card. Okay, so it was there. I thought I remembered that, but I wasn't sure exactly who said it. But thank you for that. Ken, Packers need to lose. Snow games can be fun, but not for playoffs. Here's the thing about that, and I'll put that up there on the board real quick here, USA. I am not fearful. I mean, you know, there are times I didn't want Jared Snow going to a cold and windy Chicago, Jared Goff going to a cold and windy Chicago or a snowing Chicago. But Matthew Stafford spent, 12 years in the NFC North? He's an all-weather quarterback. Rams' ideal is to run the ball, right? And we could go back and revisit that nightmare, besides the Jalen Carter sack that, if Kyron Williams holds on to the ball, Rams convert a few more another opportunity here and there, they're playing for the NFC title game against the Texans. Rams can play in the weather. Their defense can play in the weather. This doesn't feel like the 70s Rams where Steve would remember if you were out here. Some of you, do you remember the angst as the Rams would have to go to Minnesota? It was just always, but they're going to get, pockets built into their jerseys and they're going to have heaters on the sidelines. And we made all these excuses like why it's not going to affect the Rams and everything. And yet there was just, we always came up short. Stafford changes that narrative for me. I don't want to have to go to Lambeau. I'm going to say, for my sake, I want the Packers to come to SoFi for the NFC Championship game so I can sell more books. Yeah, that's what I want. But I'm not afraid, especially after watching that Philly game. This is the team that can compete in the weather. This isn't like 2018. Was it 2018 where the Rams went to Chicago and they just got kind of eaten up by the Bears? And I don't worry about that right now. Tim Burns, so glad we got the Colts early. You and me both. Manny Vasquez, Saints pass defense is decent. The Saints, again, they don't have a quarterback. Now, if they had a quarterback, they'd probably be in 3-win category, 4-win, maybe a 3-win category is fair. But they need a fire sale there because I don't think they're as far away. They can get a lot right now for Alvin Kamara. They can get a lot for Chris Olave. They can get a lot for some of these guys on that roster, and they need to do that to think about the future. Let's see here. Tim Burns, weather doesn't bother Stafford. Prove that in London rain. Rain, snow, whatever. Stafford's our guy. Appreciate him while we have him. Steve Ramirez, these are not the Chuck Knox Rams. These Rams can win in the snow. Rams were 13 yards away in a snow game. There we go. I honestly, if you're going to put a sports show, one of my like RamView put on its tombstone, this is what I want on the tombstone. These Rams were just 13 yards away in 2024. That's it, right? That's what I'd want to put if I passed away and I couldn't do this show anymore, because that's how hard that one is. That one feels very hard still in terms of what it is. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see. Today's the 27th. Hey, good day in Ram history. On this day in Ram history, October 27th, 2020, the Rams waived Sam Sloman. How do you feel about that? There you go. Rams waived Sam Sloman. If he was still with us, he passed away in 2012. Former Rams right tackle John Williams. Okay, dentist, good guy all the way around, steady there from 73 through 78 at right tackle. The guy that preceded Jackie Slater's Hall of Fame run, John Williams. He was born on this day in 1945. He would be 80 years old and turning 36 today. Out of Alabama, former 7th overall pick, first round in 2012 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Played some safety for the Rams. Then ended up playing some linebacker for the Rams. Great tackler, aggressive player. You have to love him. Mark Barron turns 36 today. Passing away on this day in 2006, Marlon McKeever, middle linebacker, tight end, middle linebacker for the Rams, the Vikings, Redskins, Rams again. He passed away on this day in 2006 at the age of 66. And on this day in 1974, Rams beat the Jets 20-13. I watched that game. James Harris, I think, ran for a touchdown. Let's see. Do we have it all in here? Yeah. Rams beat the Bengals in 2019, 24-10 on this day. So there we go. Hey, I'm a Mark Barron guy. I don't know if you guys are Mark Barron guys, but I am a Mark Barron guy. All right, let's see. Mikey Gutierrez, you agree with Tim Burns. You want to see Jimmy G. I want to see Jimmy G as well. Tonight, you've got the Taxkins against the Chiefs in the Andrew Wiley Bowl. Jaden Daniels is not playing, and so no Daniels, no chance. Chiefs are going to win this game. You're going to go to 5-3. And besides winning the game, what the Chiefs are doing right now, and you see it in the KBM, is they're either moving into everyone's head or the KBM's trying to prove they're moving into everyone's head. Because the way it's looking right now, the AFC, which everyone expected to be kind of wide open, or at least not necessarily owned by the Chiefs, would belong to the Bills and the Ravens. It is wide open. And if you're looking at it, I'm looking at my preseason predictions here in the AFC East. Let me see if I can get those up there real quick. I don't know if that's going to work. Boom, boom, boom. Let me try this, guys. Have some patience with me here. Boom, and then boom, and then boom. This is looking wide open in the AFC, and because of their experience, people are really looking at the Chiefs as they're ready to step in and take charge all over again. And I don't know if that's the case or if everyone's just all worked up about it. Let's see here. Oh, cool. I got it in. Let's get the whole thing in there and get my mug out. All right, cool. We got it here, guys. Thanks for being patient with me. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Let me answer a couple questions here. Only thing I'm excited in tonight's game is Devontae Adams on the Manning cast. I saw that, Micah. Cheryl, we are the Resistance. I'm going to put that up there, Cheryl, because I don't know if I've had you on the show before, but thank you, Cheryl, for joining us. I also want to see Jimmy G. I thought he was going to come in during the London game when the score was 28-0, but he didn't. But he didn't until it was nearly over. Yeah. Everyone wants to see Jimmy G, right? And not for the reasons most people would think. Okay, let me do this because I want to make sure we keep running this thing till I get everything in. Okay. AFC East, my preseason predictions were the Bills and Patriots. I think I nailed that one. But the Bills have looked mortal. Patriots are young. AFC North, complete with Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns. Ravens have been hurt. Bengals are the Bengals. And the Steelers, they need some help for Aaron Rodgers. They need to make a move because they spent too much money on defense. They need to make a move to help Aaron Rodgers win some shootouts because it's not your mama's Steelers. AFC South, Texans, Jaguars, Colts, Titans. Titans we knew. Jaguars I thought would be okay. I thought the Texans would be better, although we didn't like their offensive line. And the Colts, we said they're a quarterback away, and they found that quarterback, and now we know where they're at. But is everyone still fully believing in the Colts? Broncos, Chiefs, okay. Chargers are good. Raiders are not as competitive as I thought they would be. But look at Bills have had a bad loss. AFC North in shambles right now. Patriots are young. Colts, no one's quite sure if they're really going to hold up. And then you got the Broncos and the Chiefs. So, yeah, the Chiefs are right back in everyone's head right now. And you can look at the NFC. I had Eagles and Texans. Texans without Jaden Daniels, disaster. Lions and Packers, I think we nailed that one. Buccaneers, yes. Probably undersold the Panthers a little bit. I'm believing in a 49er collapse. I think you could only do it with baling wire and stuff, spit and baling wire for so long. I think they're going to collapse, but Cardinals not as playing as well as I thought they would. Looks like Rams, Seahawks to me. So yeah, the AFC is wide open. Chiefs are going to win tonight, and they're going to be the winners in terms of getting inside everyone's head, right? And the Taxkins, with their loss, is good for the Rams. Their loss is good for the Rams because the Taxkins, when they lose, they will drop to 3-5. And I just don't want any NFC competitors to keep winning right now, right? We want them to keep losing. So there we go. Cheryl, thanks for asking questions here. I do appreciate you being here. ESG, if you are the AFC, you don't want the Chiefs anywhere near the playoffs. Yeah, it's going to be a little spooky. Also, because they do seem to get the calls. Did you hear this study that was done? There was a study done that talked about the Chiefs getting 65% of the calls or something. I thought it was ridiculous, but it does get in everyone's head. Everett, since the Rams have moved back to LA, do you think the fan base has grown? Oh, I'm going to put that up there. Philosophical question there. Okay. This is who I am. I grew up a Ram fan. I've been in the Coliseum watching those old Ram games. I was at the NFC title game when they lost to the Cowboys 37-7. I was at the stadium in 79 when they lost to an awful Giants team, and I heard Ram fans booing their team. And that team's the team that ended up in the Super Bowl. So my experience tells me, this crowd being the exception, Ram fans are some of the worst fans on the planet because we're in LA, right? Plus, you go away for 20 years and you come back, you've got a couple of generations that grew up as 49er fans, Packer fans, Cowboy fans, all that other stuff. So it's going to take a while, but I think the Rams hurt themselves when they played to the glitz factor, when you do The Rock, when you do all those guys, you show all the movie stars, when you play the stupid game of changing your jerseys all the time. The Rams need to think more Valley than Beverly Hills. They need to think more Valley than the West Side, because those are where you're going to find people who are going to stick with their team. They will never develop a fan base here with that kind of attitude. You'll never have a fan base like the Packers. You'll never have a fan base like the Chiefs, like the Steelers, like the Cowboys, like the Bears. Heck, even probably like Jet fans that get so angry and they never forget, which is kind of cool. But it's very fancy word here. Ram fandom in 2025 is very ephemeral. If the Rams weren't winning, the people wouldn't be there and the movie stars wouldn't be there. And that's where Demoff, Uncle Stan and them really blow it because they're not catering to the right base that you would want to develop from the bottom on up. That's my opinion. I mean, look at it. Rams are playing road games at home. That's another reason why we don't stress about road games for the Rams, because the Rams are playing road games at home. They have to use silent count sometimes at home. And so, I think there's the Rams fan base out of 100% of them. I think probably it's about 35%, right? They're the ones that are with us all year when we're talking Ram football. But by and large, no, I don't trust any. I'm going to get in trouble here because I probably upset some of you. I'm not going to a sports bar to watch a Ram game, even if it's got a big screen, right? I will watch. I had a problem. I was working. You guys know my day job. I pastor a small church in Burbank, and I was working my day job and had young kids and everything, and I just couldn't get to a friend's house or anything to watch the Rams play the Titans in the Super Bowl. And I had to watch the first half of that Super Bowl on a 13-inch black and white TV in my room. And I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, just because I'm not watching the game with riffraff. I'm not watching a game with a bunch of people who don't care, right? And if you really care, you're going to watch it in the Ram Cave. You're going to watch it, which is a select group of friends who don't care about the commercials, who are really angry that you got The Rock there doing some stupid monologue before kickoff, and others as well. I want to see football, and I want the Rams to play football. And I think the team plays football. I think the mindset is football. It's great. It's just the theatrics around it have to forget that you're in LA and treat this like a Midwest town if you want diehard fandom. Wow. That was a sermon, and I just killed my audience. There you go. Let's see. Manny here. Let's go. Let's get this one up. If the Rams happen to shut out the Saints, they would go into Week 10 ranked number 1 in points defense. Given this defense has turned around since the end of last year. And this is a good Ram defense, man. I got no problem with this Rams defense. SoFi, let's see here. What do we got here? Okay, USA. SoFi should be all Ram fans this Sunday. Should be. Unless there's a hurricane in New Orleans, no one cares about the Saints, right? Unless Jim Nantz might call the game, and then you got to worry about it. McVay needs to work Jimmy G in the game for a play or two once in a while. I hope he can. Let's see. Mike Negretti, hola, Pastor Joe. Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers are having a shootout, but in the end, Rodgers shoots himself in the foot. He needs help, man. He needs help, right? He needs help, and he's not getting the help from the defense because they're not playing consistently. You can forgive a 35-point burger to the Packers. They're a Super Bowl contender. But you can't give up 30 points to the Bengals. You can't give up 30 points to the Jets. You got to kind of get some consistency, and they haven't had any consistency. I was 7 years old in 1975 when I saw the Rams helmet and became a loyal fan since. Don't have loyalty. Fans don't have loyalty nowadays. They just go whatever the team is playing well. It's our culture. It's just where our culture is at. And, if you can't accept it, because I know I'm one, right? I don't want to be Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino, but we can fall into that trap. All right, let's see. Last one here. I went to a Ram games in 67. 100,000 filled the Coliseum. I don't know how many were there when I was at the NFC title game. Place was packed to the hilt. But, man, that's some environment there, man. That is some environment. Thank you. All right, guys. I went plus 50 minutes, and I killed you guys with that rant. Hey, I just want to remind you to thank our sponsors, Kistler Law, and everything that we are able to accomplish, we're able to accomplish because Kistler Law has been so good to us. And we're going to drop their link into the box here. Be sure to check out Kistler Law if you have any auto issues and you're out here on the coast. And we will go from there. All right, cool. I got this note that says, so I can see chat boxes. If you're on Facebook right now and I'm not responding to you, I do apologize. We'll get that taken care of in the future. All right, guys. God bless. Thanks for letting me rant. Steve, one of your best friends is a Saints fan? Oh, no. There you go. Okay, guys. God bless. Take care.